Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. And this is my first impressions look on Under Armour's brand new hoop shoe, the UA Spawn 7. So this shoe retails for 120 bucks, which is a pretty good price. It's the same exact price as the Curry Fox 1. And $20 cheaper than the Curry 12. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a pretty competitive price. You do get pretty good tech, you know, for what Under Armour has to offer, I guess, as far as like the cushioning setup goes. So yeah, if you guys do want to cop it, try to leave in the free link in the description box. And if you do choose to get this shoe, it does help me out if you buy it through the free link in the description box. And also, a lot of you guys have been asking me what socks I've been wearing in all my videos. It's actually my brand, and if you guys do want to get it, a link to that will be in the description box as well. But yeah, let's get started off with the Trazione. So the traction pattern looks pretty interesting. So it's we have a wave bone traction pattern, right? And one thing that is kind of weird though is that they're saying it's good on any surface. Like literally you can play it on an outdoor surface as well, which is weird because when you feel the rubber, it's actually kind of soft. You know, it's a pretty pliable rubber. And it reminds you a lot of the Embiid 1. You guys remember the Embiid 1? The Embiid 1 had terrible durability. It just wore off literally one time. I played one time on an outdoor court with the Embiid 1 and it was bare. Like the entire tread was gone. That's how bad it was. So hopefully it's not as good. I mean, Under Armour is saying it's good on multiple surfaces, but we'll have to see on that, right? Also, I guess it's like decoupled. You know what I mean? Like the forefoot and heel parts of the outsole aren't connected, you know? And we got the Under Armour logo. Also, one thing that did worry me is this like color separation, you know what I mean? So I thought they were using two different kind of like rubber pieces, but it's actually just one piece. This is just color, you know what I mean? It's just painted, I guess. So you don't really have to worry about that like I did. So yeah, how does the traction feel? It actually feels pretty nice, you know what I mean? So right when I got it and I just, you know, tried it on my wood floors, it actually has a pretty solid bite, which surprised me. And yeah, so that's good, but it has zero squeak, you know what I mean? And of course, squeak has nothing to do with performance, but I like to have squeak. And I guess Under Armour and squeaky shoes, it just doesn't go together, you know what I mean? Like all their flows, zero squeak. And even with this rubber outsole, zero squeak, which kind of sucks, you know what I mean? We'll have to see on dust performance, however. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's picking up that much dust, which is a good thing. And like I say, in all my videos, my apartment floors are very dusty and dirty. You know what I mean? Dog hair all over the place. But we'll have to see on that. You know what I mean? But yeah, again, for durability, it doesn't feel great. So there is the outsole there. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, it feels a little bit stiff here in the forefoot. You know what I mean? So here in the heel, we got a nice curved shape. Although it is pretty caged, you know, you can see the rubber coming up and also the Micro G, which is acting as a carrier in this case. And then of course we have HOVR Plus. It's not super soft for the heel compression. You know what I mean? But we got a nice rounded shape, so it's still smooth. And then here in the forefoot, we got a nice curved shape as well, which I do like, right? So the overall shape is very, very smooth, but it is a really stiff feeling. Look at that. Like I have to put a lot of force into that to bend it, you know what I mean? But it does have a nice bit of, look at that. It does have a nice bit of springiness, look. You know what I mean? So of course, I have yet to play in it. I feel like, you know, once I break it in, it'll get a little bit more flexible. We'll have to see on if it actually is springy. But right now, it does feel pretty dang springy, which I do like. And torsion support is feeling really, really good. So, and now moving on to the cushioning setup. The cushioning setup, they're using, well, I mean, okay, so I saw the tech specs and I was like, yo, this kind of looks nice. You know what I mean? And with Under Armour, you can't get excited because, yeah, they're like, oh, this is supposed to be springy, and you know, we're using two cushioning setups, you know what I mean? And with a lot of their hoop shoes in the past, it's been a disappointment for me, you know what I mean? But then this shoe, it surprised me because I had zero expectations, right? It's still not amazing, but it surprised me, and it's actually slightly okay, you know, it's kind of nice, you know what I mean? So like I said, they are using a combination of Micro G as a carrier. It's this light gray foam, as you guys can see. It has this like interesting pattern on it. You know, it goes all the way around here. And then we have this black foam, which is HOVR Plus, right? So yeah, how is this step in comfort and underfoot cushion? Because it's really not nice in all the flow shoes, right? So first of all, the insole is okay. You know, it has a good amount of thickness to it. It is pretty foamy, so it adds a little bit to the step in comfort, right? But underneath that, we have a foam strobe board, right? And also we have circle cutouts in the heel, which is very, very nice, right? So I don't know what it is. Maybe HOVR Plus is stiff? I don't know, because like when I feel it on the outside right here, it's actually quite soft. But then when I feel it with my finger, even though it is a foam strobe board, and the foam strobe board is actually kind of soft, is it like glued down? I don't know, it just feels kind of stiff. You know what I mean? Because for example, like when I'm feeling any type of soft mesh strobe board from any Chinese shoe brand, like you know, the WOW 11, like the All City 12 Encore, you know, the AR2, the Joker 1, the Team Joker, I can go on, right? When I feel it with my finger, it's so soft, you know, it's just like, oh, that's nice, you know what I mean? But this shoe, it feels kind of stiff, you know what I mean? But that's just my finger. Obviously, you know, when I'm putting my entire weight into it, that's a different story. So when I do put my entire weight into it, it actually has a little bit of plushness to it, which surprised me, you know what I mean? And obviously the HOVR Plus is what's like underneath your foot, of course, and there is a little bit of softness, just a tiny bit, you know, just a tiny bit, you know what I mean, in the heel, you know, and then the forefoot obviously gets a little bit more dead. Also, there is a tiny bit of heel compression because of this, you know, the HOVR is a little, maybe it's a combination of this little bit of HOVR Plus and these like softer, you know, cutouts here in the heel, my heel digging into the foam a little bit, but of course, like it's still a little bit on the stiffer side of things. And also the core feel is okay. You know what I mean? I would say it's around average, maybe slightly better than average. So yeah, again, like it's not anything good or great, especially comparing it to other shoes like, you know, the ultralight 2025, the Kai 1, you know, the Joker 1, you know. But it's a nice start. You know what I mean? It's a nice start for Under Armour in my personal opinion. So there's that. Moving on to the upper. So the upper is pretty nice on foot. I actually really like how it feels on foot, right? So it's an engineered woven mesh upper. And they're also saying it has TPU skin overlays, right? So I'm guessing it's like, what is a TPU skin? Is it like this? Like this little part? Like around the heel maybe? I don't know. But yeah, as far as the overall material goes, it's like a screen mesh material, right? And we do have like some other like strands of material kind of threaded here, like this white string. But then also underneath this really thin kind of like plastic screen mesh, we have another really, really open mesh underneath that, right? But yeah, it's still extremely thin. And also extremely well ventilated, right? Ventilation is really good, it feels like. Overall, its support feels pretty good. You know, I mean, it's of course not super supportive, but it's not stretchy. So overall, pretty good support. Also, we have a really, really crappy synthetic leather. Look at this. I mean, it's an overlay. I mean, it'll improve the support and durability a little bit. I mean, not even that much because it's a really crappy and thin synthetic leather. So it doesn't like improve support that much. Look at that. It's not even that supportive. So yeah, I mean the material quality is not that nice for the synthetic leather, and you got it here on the medial side, on here on the lateral side, over the eyelets as well. So that kind of sucks. Also, we have a very, very open mesh for the tongue. A little bit of airflow through that, right? It's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then here in the ankle area, we have a nice bit of targeted padding, right? So here in the ankle area, we have a pretty nice foamy texture to it, so it feels kind of plush. And then here in the ankle area, we got Achilles pads, kind of, but not really. It's just like they just stitched it. You know what I mean? It's not an extra pad that they put on. They just stitched the triangle shape there, and they called it a day. You know, so not that nice. That's kind of disappointing, but we do have a nice bit of padding where your Achilles is, and also a very high heel tab, which makes the shoe very easy to slide on. And they also added more padding on the outside of the shoe, which I never understand why companies do that. Why? I guess it adds a little bit of like, it makes the material a little bit thicker, and I guess adds a little bit more support to the upper here maybe. But like, can't you just add more padding on the inside of the shoe? I don't know. But also says Spawn, right? It also says Spawn here on the back. So yeah, it feels nice on foot. It's thin. It's actually pretty comfortable, kind of cozy, especially for the tongue and ankle area. Not super cozy, a little bit cozy, but definitely not a huge fan of the quality of the material for the synthetic leather, right? All right, now moving on to the fit. So I went up half a size and this shoe fits me pretty well, although it is long, right? So it's a little bit weird. So there definitely is a little bit of length. So I definitely wish I went true to size because of the length. However, here in the toe box, it's actually quite snug. You know what I mean? So it's a really nice snug fit on top of my toes. However, because it is a really soft material, it also allows me to curl my toes up a good amount, right? So I like that feeling, you know what I mean? Because it feels snug, but also not like really restricting. You know, it has a little bit of forgiveness. We'll have yet to see if it's like too soft, you know what I mean? Because I mean, I haven't played in these yet, and it's a really soft material, and we'll have to see on the support also as well. But yeah, I do like the fit here in the toe box. Width wise, it's around normal width for me. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would suggest going true to size for most people. You should be fine. But again, like I said, even though I did go up half a size, it's still a snug fit for me here in the toe box, right? So I guess because it is forgiving and it's a soft material, you should be fine, but it'll still probably be snug for the toe box. So just be careful with that if you do go true to size. But again, if you do want a nice snug fit, then I would suggest going true to size, right? So there is a fit there. Moving on to the support and lockdown. Yeah, I guess for lateral containment, it feels really nice, right? As far as the forefoot goes, here on the lateral side, you know, you can see the foam coming up. Also here in the midfoot, we have a little bit of the synthetic leather, but it's like that. The synthetic leather is not super supportive, right? But we do have this kind of like plastic wing, TPU wing, you know, with the Under Armour logo there. And then we have an internal TPU heel counter. So that feels really nice and supportive, right? For lateral containment, you got the necessary lateral counters there. But we have a little bit of an issue with the material. It seems like, yeah, it's a really soft material, you know, and I mean, it's not super stretchy, but there's a little bit of stretch. So we'll have to see on how supportive this material is. And also, like I said, there's nothing here on the side. Yeah, for example, right? The ultralights do a really good job with this because this shoe is so minimal, right? Look at this material. It's a really thin material overall all around, right? But they added some I guess it's like glued down, but it's a pretty like supportive material here on the sides. I mean, so here in the toe box, it actually feels nice, you know? It feels nice and supportive, but still thin. But here in the UA Spawn, it's just a really soft material here in the toe box. The entire toe box, right? There's nothing kind of like stiffening up the material. And like I said, with the synthetic leather, this is still really soft and not super supportive. So we'll have to see on that, right? Also, lateral stability seems okay. I mean, there's really no crazy outrigger. I guess it protrudes out a little bit. So we'll have to see on the lateral stability as well, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue at all. Overall lockdown does seem pretty good, or I guess heel lockdown, you know, there is nice heel cupping with the padding. It's just, yeah, we'll have to see on the lockdown here in the forefoot for me. So there is a supporting lockdown there. Moving on to the weight of the shoe. Yeah, I mean, it seems average to me. Oh, it's actually kind of light, 11.85 ounces. Let's check the other shoe, 12.05 ounces. So yeah, around, you know, 11.9, 12 ounces. That is a little bit lighter than the average, which is good. You know what I mean? But for some reason, it actually doesn't feel super light. I mean, also nothing that doesn't make it feel super kind of like smooth and nimble. You know what I mean? And like agile is the like kind of stiffer type of sole in the shoe. You know what I mean? Like for example, we got a shoe like the Genesis, the 361 Genesis, which is just really soft and nimble and very, very flexible. You know what I mean? But with this shoe, the Spawn 7, it's a really more stiffer type of feel. You know what I mean? Which of course is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's all dependent on your personal preference. For me, I like a softer type of feel. I mean, I do like like for example in the AR2, like this is like my ideal, right? This is really flexible, right? It gives you a good amount of flexibility, but also it's really springy. You get that nice little pop, right? This is more just really soft, which I like better than this. It's just really stiff, and not as kind of like springy feeling as like the AR2 or like the WOW 11, you know? And also it does feel pretty bottom heavy. You know what I mean? Like this upper is really thin, but all the midsole and the outsole, you know, adds a little bit of weight. So there is the weight there. Moving on to the aesthetics. Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, it definitely does look like a Spawn, you know, anatomic Spawn, but yeah, I don't like it. And there are some other colorways, and still, like, the overall design is just so not it for me. I feel like it's a little ugly. You know what I mean? So tell us what you guys think of these settings down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I mean, yeah, there's so many better shoes out there. Like, I mean, I haven't played in these, but just for first impressions, it doesn't feel amazing, right? For example, the AR2, the amazing shoe, amazing cushion, and it's only $100. Genesis, this is $110. Still really, I mean, the traction, not the best for dust, but still really, really nice, especially for the price, right? This is $120, the most expensive out of these three, and it's just, I mean, I guess the traction is feeling good, but the cushion, a little bit of a disappointment, and I'm not really liking how it feels on foot so far. So yeah, a little bit of a disappointment, you know what I mean? So of course that can all change when I actually play in these, and of course for the performance review, but my first impressions, this shoe is feeling not terrible, not even bad, but it's feeling okay, you know? So that about wraps up my first impressions look on the UA Spawn 7. Again, if you guys do want to copy, try to leave in the feeling link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.